Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. I've got XRP on the daily up here, still trying to creep up past this level of resistance here on the chart. And we've got BTC doing the same kind of thing, guys. Nothing really to report here right now. We've been maintaining this level, so we of course, as you guys know, we dipped back in March due to the large sell-off, and now we're creeping back up, and we're trading in the same level that we were way back at the beginning of the year, back before this rise, where we saw Bitcoin hit 10,500, and we saw XRP go up as high as 34.5 cents, or 0.346 roughly. And now, again, guys, you guys can see we are back into this level for Bitcoin and XRP, and I'm sure many of the other coins as well. And critical point here, this was the top of that rally at 20.5 cents, 0.205. So we still really do need to see higher highs. We do need to see this break that mark in order to continue this trend upward. Hopefully we do see that. Although to me, this doesn't look like a good sign. I hate to say it. We had a lot of selling pressure here and not so much buying pressure when you look at it comparatively, candlestick to candlestick, right? We have this huge sell-off, and we really haven't surpassed the top of this candlestick, or rather, let me just bring this up here, which would denote the top price of this one candlestick, and look at how many candlesticks it is taking to get back up to that same level. So, of course, buying right now not as strong as the selling pressure, at least in the last little while, but guys, that could change on a dime. Of course, we got to keep our eye on the S&P 500 as well. It is Monday, so we'll see what the stock market does. But in Ripple news, we got this from Ant1 at Ant159694954 on Twitter. And this with regards to Bitcasino. So Ripple comes to Bitcasino for speedy transfers at lower fees. And personally, I think we're going to see a lot more of this. The third largest cryptocurrency by market cap today, XRP, has been added to Bitcasino. So beyond the reaches of Bitcoin, as the indisputable favorite and most used cryptocurrency in the world, many other alternative cryptocurrencies have graced the digital money sphere. Among these is Ripple, whose native token XRP is the third largest cryptocurrency asset in existence by market cap. And now Bitcoin leading crypto casino Bitcasino is proud to say that it has added XRP support to its already impressive list of crypto options, giving its users even more options to choose from when it comes to fast, cheap transfer of currency to and from its online gaming platform. And guys, that's what it's all about. It's not about whether you are a Bitcoin maximalist or part of the XRP army or whatever. The XRP technology will speak for itself. And so I think, especially in this digital world, have you guys heard, just kind of off topic here? No, actually, it's kind of on topic, that online casino, so online poker, actually, no, it was online poker specifically, has seen a huge upsurge since the pandemic. And it's because people are locked in their houses looking for things to do. And so could we see this trend continue for online gaming, especially during this uncertain time? And will we see platforms like Bitcasino add quicker methods to settle payments like XRP? Because, well, obviously they want their platform to be the fastest, most secure, and leading edge in terms of technology. So an interesting question there, guys. I'll link this in the description for you if you want to read further. This from MacAttack XRP on Twitter. And Coinfield announces liquidity solution for XRP SOLO token. So let me read you this. Via his Twitter account, Sologenic CEO Bob Rass has announced that there will be liquidity for SOLO and XRP tokens on the Coinfield exchange. Rass said his team has been working on developing the liquidity solution over the past few weeks. And guys, you know why? He was called out by Wind. So liquidity solution for XRP and SOLO, Rass has added the XRP-based Sum banking application. Rass also added that the XRP-based Sum banking application provides easy access to decentralized XRPL exchange, DEX. Sum, Rass said, provides users with a secure way to access the DEX and trade the Sologenic token. Rass's comment was a direct response to Wind, the developer of Sum. In early April, Wind said that there was no liquidity for the SOLO token in the XRP ledger due to lack of supply. So this led to high volatility of the token and an irregular movement of the price. Wind said Sum automatically hides IOUs from the add currency list if this is the case to prevent users from losing funds on bad rates. So Bob Rass stepping up and finding a solution for this. So by this point, Sologenic retracted their statement and said that they were working on a solution to increase liquidity on the DEX. So very good for them. Bob Rass, as you guys know, is the CEO of Coinfield. If I did not mention that, I think I did mention that. Matthew Liny here on Twitter, Ripple working with countries for remittances and interbank transfers. And so he posted this. I don't know where this is from. I didn't see a link here. A few people were asking for the source. Nevertheless, it is interesting to see that Ripple is working with the Philippines and other South Asian countries with regards to interbank transfers. But guys, look down here, remittances, the Philippines, Ghana, Kenya, Morocco, Nigeria, Senegal, and the Philippines. Well, it's written twice here, the Philippines, but Ghana, Kenya, Morocco, Nigeria, and Senegal, all African countries, and we have not heard of an African connection yet with Ripple. I mean, we have heard little rumblings here with South Africa, but a big untapped market for unbanked customers there. ITB1 writes, African countries, interesting. And then a few people asking for the link to the report. So yes, African countries in this report going to be using Ripple technology, or at least are working with it as of now. We will see how that transpires, keeping an eye on Ghana, Kenya, Morocco, Nigeria, and Senegal specifically. And if you guys needed more information regarding the state of cryptocurrency trading and how bigger investors will get into the space, this next article is for you. It has to do with Coinbase. It was originally published by Coinbase on Twitter, so from the Coinbase account, as crypto continues its maturation, institutional investors will play a large part in driving broad acceptance. Today we're announcing Brett Tejpal as our head of institutional coverage, a role that will focus on educating the institutional community. So this straight from Coinbase, and they have a link here to their blog. Guys, I will link this tweet in the description if you want to read further. But for those of you guys who do not know, Brett Tejpal, a former executive at Barclays and a big name on Wall Street. So in the past few days, this is just an article from last year, from May 2019. In the past few days, the British bank is understood to have parted company with Brett Tejpal, the head of digital and client strategy for its markets division. So this is what he did over there. A former member of the Markets Leadership Committee, Tejpal was only promoted to the digital strategy role in June 2018. A Barclays veteran, he was previously head of the credit and equity sales for the bank in New York. Before joining Barclays in 2003, Tejpal spent nearly 9 years at JP Morgan as head of structured credit products in Europe. So quite an impressive resume, at least just from this. I'm sure that doesn't include his entire resume, but Coinbase hiring the right people to get institutional investors interested in trading cryptocurrencies. And guys, you know what that means for us? Holding crypto so early on when the market cap was so low. And it still is today, hovering just above 200 billion, so 206 billion right now. But guys, when we get this influx of cash, you got to think what this will do to the market. Okay, you got to think what this will do to the major cryptocurrencies that are held in those funds. You got to think when real money gets dumped in. And when I talk about real money, I'm not talking about real versus printed money. I'm talking about real big sums of money, value, Wall Street money. This space is just going to explode. These prices will look like a pittance once we see real money flow into the space. So Coinbase doing their part, hiring Brett Tejpal, great news there. Moving along here, guys, I saw this from XRP Crypto Wolf. So the Bank of England discussion paper, Central Bank Digital Currency Opportunities, Challenges, and Design. This straight from the paper, CBDCs should be designed to interoperate with other countries' CBDC payment systems to support future cross-border payments. Ripple and XRP could help. That a little note from XRP Crypto Wolf. So thanks so much, XRP Crypto Wolf, for posting this. These just a few snippets from the report, guys. He does link the Bank of England report down here in the tweet if you want to read further. So this going through the platform model of CBDCs, giving you guys some information about that. A few interesting points here. The program to deliver a renewed RTGS aims to enhance resilience and promote innovation. The service will offer a range of new features and capabilities for payments and settlements between financial institutions. The vision is to develop an RTGS service which is fit for the future. This means increasing resilience and access and offering wider interoperability, guys, improved user functionality, and strengthen end-to-end risk management of the UK's high-value payment system. And then he highlights the first major milestone will be the move to ISO 20022 messaging in the year, coincidentally, 2022, followed by the transition to a new core ledger in 2023. So we know those dates have been pushed off about a year or two. Down here, he mentions there is a new settlement system emerging, such as Finality, proposing to issue digital settlement tokens that would be fully backed by central bank money, allowing instant settlement. The bank aims to publish proposals on how and under what conditions new settlement providers could open accounts at the bank to facilitate similar innovative wholesale settlement models. And then down here, discussing a little bit more about CBDCs and how they may offer a safer way to provide better cross-border payments. They focus on cross-border payments and the fact that the need for supporting interoperability is key. And guys, of course, I will link this in the description. A few people down here mentioning the fact that, okay, this one from Observant One, if CBDCs are meant to interoperate with each other, then there is no need for XRP. Think about it. If they weren't interoperable, then they would need XRP or a similar asset. If they can interoperate with each other, then what need do we have for XRP? And this is coming from an XRP fan. And yeah, right, on the surface, that kind of makes sense. Why would we need something? If the CBDCs are interoperable, why would we need XRP? Well, investment perspectives at Backup Bradley mentions that central banks don't want to hold each other's CBDCs. Therefore, there needs to be an asset in the middle for all those transactions. Voila, XRP. And guys, that was one of the arguments that was mentioned before with the JPM coin. JPM came out with their JPM coin and they were thinking to themselves, great, look, we've got a cryptocurrency. We're in the future, right? But the fact that they failed to realize, or maybe they did realize, but too late, or maybe they didn't even actually have plans to use their coin with other banks. But the problem that will arise with these currencies that are linked to specific nations or governments is that other governments and or nations will not want to hold said currency. So you need to have a standard that every country can hold across the board. That is also that standard measure of value so that countries can interoperate with their independent currencies. So for example, the Nigerian government can transfer funds to the British government and vice versa, right? They don't have to hold each other's CBDCs. They can hold their own currencies and connect via XRP. Not only that, because XRP is the fastest, most efficient cryptocurrency, and not to mention the cheapest as well, it makes for a perfect solution for this cross-border payment problem. Guys, we talked a little bit about this, the XRP army shrinking as liquidations pass 263 million in 2019. So this article, not going to dwell on this too much because over the last day or two, I've been talking about this and how the XRP army shrank by 63% since June 2018. And how I thought these numbers were a little bit misleading in a way, I guess. Misleading to put it nicely, I'll say. Well, this Cointelegraph article is going on about how over 263 million XRP have been liquidated. So in the first quarter of 2020, XRP was overtaken in daily volume by up-and-coming token Chainlink and came close to losing its number 3 spot in the top 10 to Tether during the flash crash in mid-March. So this talking about this period in time, okay, when we were everybody was crashing here, there was okay, people are being critical of this is not really fair because the entire market, including stock markets, were all crashing at that time. Bitcoin was crashing. All cryptos were crashing. Everything was crashing. So Cointelegraph, bringing up statistics probably from the worst crash we've seen in the last several years for everybody. They go on to say even before the crypto bloodbath, which hit nearly every token hard. Okay, we'll give them credit for that. XRP was considered the worst performing large cap token. The TIE report noted that the firm relied on XRP liquidations to stay cash flow positive in 2019. They say, well, Ripple liquidated only $13 million worth of its XRP holdings in quarter 4 2019, the least in 3 years. It sold over $250 million worth in quarter 3 of last year. It is not yet known how much XRP Ripple sold in quarter 1 of 2020. Guys, this to me sounds like very, very poor journalism. What the TIE is reporting is that Ripple continues to sell XRP in order to stay afloat, which, being one of the top 10, I think it is one of the top 10 cryptocurrency companies in the world, would seem very ridiculous considering, as they also claim, how poorly performing XRP has been in the last little while. So I wanted to bring your attention to this tweet, and I thought this was brilliant, okay? This from Michael IPinky7 on Twitter, at IPinky77. Everyone really believing Ripple sells XRP to finance their operations? Please think. Okay, a company with roughly 400 employees would need more than $14 million in 3 months, right? And he links to the Ripple Insights article here from quarter 4 of 2019. Ripple publishes quarterly XRP market reports to voluntarily provide transparency and regular updates on the company's views on the state of the XRP market, including quarterly programmatic and institutional sales updates, relevant XRP-related announcements such as Spring and RippleNet partnerships, and commentary on previous quarter market developments. As an XRP holder, Ripple believes proactive communication is part of being a responsible stakeholder. Moreover, Ripple urges others in the industry to follow its lead to build trust, foster open communication, and raise the bar industry-wide. I bring that up because it is important to reiterate Ripple is being transparent with their numbers. And so if people are thinking that they are selling XRP to help keep their company afloat, as these guys are insinuating, is preposterous. Michael Pinky writes here, also 66 million will not be enough, right? With 250 million, we may argue, and he links to quarters 3 and quarters 2 of the Ripple report, so you guys can look up that information there. He finishes off by saying, just so you know, the cost of an employee is, across all industries, roughly double his salary. So even at 250 million, that would mean the average salary would be less than 100,000, which we know is not the case for these big Silicon Valley type employees. And then those 250 million would just cover the employee cost, but nothing else. So all those Ripple XRP bashers, if you really believe Ripple is using XRP to finance itself, then you reply here and I block you immediately. Garbage collection is what it's called in programming. He makes a very, very good point. So I wanted to thank Michael Pinky for posting that. Getting people to understand that the finances of a company are way more complicated than just, oh, well, they own XRP and they're selling it off. That must mean that they're funding their company with it. Have we failed to acknowledge all the other sources of funding Ripple has received? All these investors, Andreessen Horowitz, Google Ventures? Come on, guys. This is ridiculous. But fudsters will be fudsters, unfortunately. I'm here for you guys to tell you what I think is actually happening versus what you sometimes will be reading in some of these questionable articles. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Well, you know what's also interesting to ponder? This right here, okay? I saw this tweet from Michael at Val5Links. XRP open market supply is drying up, will demand push prices. He posts this article from Xi Crypto, and this is interesting because it's something we really haven't touched on yet. For some years now, people have been grumbling about XRP's lack of price traction. Many who got into crypto after 2017 saw the bull run and have long anticipated a price surge to get them some stable profits. However, this hasn't been the case as XRP struggled to keep the bears at bay for at least 3 years. Now something seems to be happening. So Kevin Cage brought this up. There are just about 8.3 billion XRP tokens left in the open market and are available for purchase. Another thing that we've talked about on this channel, and what Kevin points out too as well in his Twitter post, and it looks like Bearable Bull chimed in as well, is that the market is finally out of enough XRP for sale. The user added that in this case, the big buyers will eventually be forced to buy from people as opposed to buying directly from Ripple at low prices. If this happens, demand will rise and the price will catch up. For one, it's notable that most of the top accounts already holding vast caches of XRP are still in the mood to accumulate more, guys. As we've mentioned before on this channel, the top cryptocurrency accounts, the top XRP RICHLIST accounts, guys, I don't have the page up right now, but we've mentioned it in several previous videos, that the top accumulators are accumulating more. There was one week where we saw a jump and the top accumulators were accumulating up to 5 times more XRP than the bottom percentage of accounts. So in that 0.01%, they were accumulating 12% more XRP than everybody else. This goes on to say, and the reduction of the available XRP for purchase means they'll turn to actual crypto markets to seek out sellers. As noted above, this is a market dynamic that will have an effect pushing up the price and possibly get XRP out of the 3-year price stagnation. So this is an interesting theory to ponder because we have to remember there is a finite amount of XRP and it is deflationary. More gets burnt all the time. So Unbearable Guy 123 points, that's nothing to get excited about. That's 20%. Fair enough. XRPM mentions, we are leading up to an event, and so he reposts his tweet here, stating just this: Ripple holds 50% back because XRP would be effed like Bitcoin, jammed in stagnant wallets without a cause. Ripple would be insane to release it now when one whale could buy it all for £9 billion, okay? It only costs £8,777,929,509 to buy all spare XRP and what Ripple holds right now. So think about it, to a lot of people, $9 billion, like Bill Gates could go out and buy all the XRP in the XRP space right now if he wanted to. Okay, this is something that is not, and we haven't seen as many billionaires in the world as we have today. So there are a lot of rich people out there that want to get even richer. This could realistically happen. So there's always going to be a supply and a demand relationship out there. And when we see supply dwindling, it will be up to XRP hodlers to sell their XRP. Now, my view on this is, how much XRP are we willing to relinquish as hodlers? First of all, who's hodling and how much XRP are we likely to relinquish? Guys, I am going to bring up this rich stats list because I didn't think this video would kind of go this way, but let's talk about this for a little bit. Let's go to counts by percentage. So as you guys can see here, the amount of XRP being accumulated by the 0.01% has steadily increased. I mean, we've seen dips and peaks, but ultimately the trend keeps going upwards. Same with everybody here within the community, it looks like. The 0.01%, the 0.1%, 0.2, 0.5, 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. The trend just keeps going upwards. So hodlers are accumulating, but who is holding what? And at the end of the day, when supply is low and people still want to buy XRP, will that be the point when price will rise? Now, who is willing to sell their XRP at what point? And this is going to be all dependent on what types of traders, what types of people are going to be holding XRP. Are you the type of person that is going to take profits on the way up? If you see, $1.50, $3.50, $10, $15, at what point are you looking to trade? And so that is going to dictate the supply and demand. And this is where technical analysis comes in, because this is when we'll look at former supply and resistance levels, and people will, psychologically think to themselves, okay, we've reached, let me get rid of that. Okay, we've reached all-time high. Why do I keep doing that? We've reached all-time high. Maybe it's time to relinquish some XRP. So, some traders, when they see XRP going right back up to all-time high at about $3 and change, $3.80, give or take, we might see a huge sell-off. But depending on how many people are still willing to buy at that point, buying pressure could go up. That level is pierced, and the next sell-off level is anybody's guess. This is why we use Fibonacci extensions, for example, to best guess where that level will be. So guys, it's a big question mark. When supply is dwindling and holders are holding XRP in their accounts, who's going to budge first? Or will too many people decide to sell quickly, which would actually flood the market with too much XRP, and then the price goes down? So that is the question. Who's holding XRP? Who's willing to sell XRP at what price? Is it the majority of big banks and institutions who are keeping it for real-world utility? And what percentage of traders are speculators looking to grab a few bucks on the side? These are all very, very interesting questions that will definitely have an impact on XRP price. So that's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.